Welcome back to the GSMC Deadball Sports Podcast, hosted by GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Nolan Jamber. And sorry about clicking the outro source. That was a little misclick. But today, we got a lineup of a lot of basketball. Talk about the Masters again. To end it off, we're going to the MAC, one of my favorite conferences in college. We'll talk about it. A lot of rearranging going on over there. Before we get into all that, though, tips and donations. Tips and donations are a great way for you guys to show that you guys care about the content that we're putting out. A great way for you guys to show and just donate and help us grow our business, grow our channel. And if you want to donate to help support us, the two links in the bio description. And if you're in the live stream, super chat and stickers. Best way to do it. Best way to show you guys care about the content that we put out. And it really means a lot when you guys do. Even if you don't want to donate, you want to leave a comment, you can comment in the comment section after the video is posted, or if you're in the live stream, leave a comment in the live stream. I'll get to it as soon as possible. I love being able to talk to you guys. That's what I'm here for. It's my job. So I'd love to do it. So if you want to do that, feel free. But like I said earlier, if you do want to donate, if you're not in the live stream, the link's in the bio description. And if you're in the live stream, super chat and stickers are the best way to do it. With that being said, let's get into the content for today, shall we? Before we get into all that as well, yes, I know I'm wearing the same shirt I did yesterday. It's really comfortable, and I already washed it. Don't worry about that. But with that being said, let's get into it. So first off, like I said, we're going to NBA. We got a lot of coaching problems in the NBA. And I don't mean the coaches are the problem. I mean them getting fired is the problem. We've had two coaches in the Western Conference in the past 2 weeks getting fired. You got Denver's Michael Malone and GM Calvin Booth yesterday. And Memphis 2 weeks ago, Taylor Jenkins getting fired as well, with only 2 weeks left to play. And I want to talk about both of them. We'll talk about Memphis first because, they're a little more out of the loop, a little more outdated. Not really outdated, it's only 2 weeks ago, but not talked about really anymore because it already happened. He was abruptly fired 2 weeks ago. On game day, he was told by the Memphis Grizzlies that he was being let go of his head coach position with them. It was a very questionable decision at the time, and I still think it is to this day. At the time of the firing, the Grizzlies were a 4 seed in the West, still fighting for a better playoff spot, and they were playing good basketball. With them being fired, with him gone now, with their interim head coach being stepped up, having stepped into his role, they have not only dropped out of the playoffs, but are now sitting in an 8 seed, just fighting to make the play in, which is honestly kind of crazy to think about. A team of this caliber, a team with John Morant playing so well, rookie Zach Edey playing so well. I mean, you think, even without their head coach, they still be playing good basketball. And they're just not. Firing their head coach was honestly the worst decision that organization could have made. And I still don't understand why they did it. I do want to get into that, why they did. Supposedly, no one still knows, why people get fired in the NBA. No one really knows why. Sorry, I got that in my hair. But the suspicions, rumors are spread. The organization didn't like his rotations with the players, and they didn't like that he wasn't centering his offense around Ja. Ja obviously is the heart and soul of the Grizzlies organization right now. He is their big name player. He's the reason they have so much recognition, for good and bad. But when he's playing basketball, he's playing good basketball. And when he's not being the center of attention, they're really not a team that people really care about watching, playing against. They don't take him seriously, and they get little viewership. So with the organization seeing he's not centering his offensive play around him, why would we keep him around? If we can find a head coach who will not only play him more and better his rotations, that would thus bring in more money for them, more viewership, that they might as well. Another reason he was supposedly fired and let go, he lost the locker room. You can never do that as a head coach. You simply, when you're a head coach, you cannot lose your locker room, and that's simply what happened. Supposedly, no one really took him serious. They were all just kind of slacking. They didn't do what he told them to do. He was just trying to be a head coach, and they just simply wouldn't listen to him. And that's another reason they got let go. And ever since he did, like I said earlier, they've just not done good. They haven't played well. They've dropped from the 4 to the 8th seed, and right now they're just fighting to even make the playoffs. And at this rate, the 7th and 8th seed play the first round of the play-in. They're playing the Clippers, and they simply just won't beat the Clippers. They just don't have the skill. They don't have the manpower. John Morant's not good enough to guard or play. James Harden will guard him as well. James Harden is just so much better than John Morant. Ivan Zubac, the center for the Clippers, is better than Zach Edey in every way possible. He will body him down. Jaren Jackson Jr. is possibly a defensive player of the year, but when you're guarding Kawhi Leonard, I feel like it just won't matter. Kawhi Leonard's just that dominant. Another reason he was let go, his playoff success. He hasn't really had much. Over the past 5 seasons, he's been in it 3 times, which isn't bad, but he's never made it out of the second round, which is just not good playoff success at all. He's only a first round, then they're a higher seed, they play a lower seed, and then lose to another good team in the West, which just can't happen. So he lost the locker room, didn't like rotations, and he wasn't a good playoff coach. So, he got let go, and now they're suffering because of it. But then we're both bouncing back to Denver. Michael Malone is the opposite of what Taylor Jenkins was like. Great playoff coach. He didn't lose the locker room that as much as Jenkins did. He still lost it. I mean, that just happens over time. You tend to lose it. But if you're, not the best coach in the world. But, Michael Malone is he won a championship 2 seasons ago in 2023. He is the first coach, like I said yesterday, to first ever make it to the Nuggets to bring them to a championship and then win it in the same year. He brought them their first ever title with a great team. But he was let go, and their GM, Calvin Booth, were both let go for multiple reasons. Like I said, Malone lost the locker room. The players weren't listening to him. And I think it's kind of crazy. He never said anything that is crazy enough for him to get fired. He was he had great a presence. People listened to him. And the only time he said something controversial, I guess you could say, was to his own players when he was in the press conference saying, when they lost to Portland, saying, they just don't study film. And I guess the players didn't like that. That's just kind of insane. But another reason he's probably let go was because the organization, the GM, and him all had different opinions on everything. He wanted to bring in a lot of vets for the team. More vets is more success. And then you bring in Calvin Booth, the former GM. He wanted to bring in more young stars to, build up, help Jokić. Bringing in young stars is always good for a team. And they wanted to kind of split it 50-50, maybe get 7 of each. And then neither of them could, come to a decision. And that resulted in nothing getting done. They had 3 vets. You have 3 vets who I consider vets. Jokić is the vet. Russell Westbrook is obviously the number 1 vet. And then you can consider Aaron Gordon a vet. I consider Aaron Gordon a vet. He's been in the league since 2015. It's been 10 years. If you're past 10 years, you're a veteran of the game. And they have a lot of young stars as well, I guess you could say. I'm not going to call Jamal Murray a young star, but he's he's a star. Christian Braun, he's a star. He's their young star. He's their name brand a young star. And nobody on the Denver Nuggets, none of them can, come to a decision, say, hey, let's just kind of split it. Maybe get rid of some of these young guys who aren't performing as well, try to grab a vet. Or, hey, let's get rid of this vet and bring in a young star. But the problem is there wasn't enough of each group to get rid of and bring in. They had a few vets, few young stars, and a bunch of guys in the middle who just aren't playing very good basketball, and they just couldn't come to a decision. It was bound to happen eventually. Michael Malone was supposed to get fired after the 2023 season originally anyway, because he had no success prior. Or actually, no, he still was having success, but the organization still didn't like him. He had plenty of playoff success. Since 2020, he's been dominating the West. He's been making the playoffs every year, making it to the Western Conference semis, finals, championship. He's a great playoff coach. But the organization didn't like what he was doing. And they were planning on, hey, they're going to, after this 2023 season's over, the postseason, not regular season, the postseason, because he made the playoffs, because he always does. and they're like, we're gonna fire him. They win the championship, win it all. You can't fire your coach after winning an NBA championship. It's just not what you do. So they're like, hey, we'll stick around and see what happens. Last year, they make it far. They make it to the semis. Yeah, they're a good team. They lost to the Timberwolves somehow. I'm not sure how, but they somehow lost to the Timberwolves. And, it's not like the Timberwolves were a bad team at all. But I just don't think people were expecting them to lose that series, and they did, which is still kind of nuts to me. However, both of these coaches being fired in the West, both of these coaches being fired at such weird times, both within 2 weeks of playoffs starting, and both of them being high seeds at the time that the coach was being fired. Memphis being the 4, and Denver was also the 4. Both of them being 4 seeds at the time of being fired, and them being let go at this time, which is really weird. It's just really weird timing. They're both fighting. They were both fighting for a really good playoff spot. Denver is probably going to drop to the play-in. Memphis, maybe they will be in the play-in, but maybe I don't think they can crawl themselves back into the playoffs. They just can't. Denver at the lowest will go back. Will probably go to a 6 at the lowest. They won't be a play-in team. But overall, just a weird situation. I don't get why you would fire a coach with 2 weeks left in the playoffs or 1 week left till playoffs. Just hold on to him till the season's over, then get rid of him. If you're a really smart organization, that's what you would do. And these organizations, Memphis has had no success historically, so I don't really know. And Denver's only had success recently, so they still don't really know what they're doing. I guess in the front office, they think they do, but I just don't think they really do. That's just my opinion, though. That's all I got for this segment. In the next segment, we'll talk about the Suns, how they're crumbling as an organization as well. We got Luka's return to Dallas tonight with the Lakers. He's returning, first game back there. Then we got the Masters, and then we got the MAC, one of my favorite conferences. Got to talk about what's going on over there. We'll get right back to that after the break.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?